faculty of crime.
Hello, everybody. What's up? We're back. I am Jay with Guilty of Crime, and it's Tuesday. How's everybody doing today? Do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and get a membership if you can. It's the first of the month. Wake up, get up. If you need to cash your checks and get up, go do that. But really, it's the first of the month. It's July 1st, and it's my birthday month, guys. We're back again for another summer, another birthday. I'm really excited because during June, it's just always such a lovely time. I get to be outside, hang out at the pool, whatever it is that I'm doing. It's birthday month, and I'm a Leo. And you know how Leos do, right? Let me try to fix my fading in and out a little bit more so my hair's not picking up the background. Anyway, what's up? Happy birthday month to the Cancers and the Leos. Many Leos are in August, but not me. I am July 25th, which means I get to celebrate all month long. And I do it Leo style, right? Because Leos do it big. Right? So what's up? I cannot believe, you guys, that we have been here for another year together. Last year was such a different story for me. Last year, my air conditioner had broke. I didn't have a roof. I didn't have ceilings in my room. I didn't have much of a house. And I was floating from hotel to hotel, RV park to RV park. But this year is much different. And I'm just really excited about it, guys. So happy birthday month to the Cancers and the Leos. And of course, in August, we'll get the party started for those that are Leos, because lovely Leos, right? Leos are the top of the food chain, so to speak, in the zodiac community. We walk in, we're lions, right? When you go to the zoo and you see a lion, you don't need to see what's on the fence or on the sign to see it's a lion. You just know. So that's how we do with the Leo lions. If you're a lion, you just know. You just know. So what's up, guys? Today we're covering Karmelo Anthony 1.4 million fundraiser sparks Black community backlash. Is it fair? We're also going to read through the arrest report. I'm going to show you both sides, because when I presented this last week, the 1.4 million was still going up. Well, guess what? The Black community has sparked outrage now that they realize that Karmelo Anthony family has filed as or Karmelo Anthony filed as indigent, and he is getting a lawyer. So what is the family doing with the money, and why the frick did they start a BLM or Black Lives Matter 2.0? They really started this as a race card, and I'm going to show you guys. I mean, this is going to be a topic today that I got to tell you guys. It's going to be a sensitive topic because we might have, and I'm trying to fix myself on here. I keep fading in and out. We might have controversy. So please, please, please Just, be kind to others. Not only the black community's upset, but of course the white community. They're not even trying to take it to a racist level, and it's there. And I'm going to show you, you guys aren't going to be happy no matter what side you're on. But no matter what side you're on, guys, we all are on the same justice for Austin Metcalf. So what's up? Let everybody roll in before I just explode into this. When I'm done with the first half, I'm going to have the lovely Synth come up with me, and she's going to read the arrest report. I want you to hear the arrest report because I want you to realize that Karmelo Anthony's family does realize that he's guilty. They do realize that he took a knife and that he stabbed Austin Metcalf. And we're going to hear what the police report said. But guess what? The black community, they were using their EBT cards. And you're going to hear all of it. They used their EBT cards to fund Karmelo Anthony's legal fees. And he's not even getting legal fees. He's using a public defender. I am on Austin Metcalf's side. So beautiful, I think that you're on the side of the victim and justice for Austin Metcalf. It's terrible. They had a press conference and they kicked Austin Metcalf's dad out and they started racist shit with him. So this whole campaign, you guys are going to see, I'm going to show you the give, go, send we looked at last time. Guess what? I didn't even read the comments. A lot of the comments are racially divided. But once the community realized what is happening and why the frick is the Anthony's getting so much money while some of them don't have their EBT money for the month because they were giving it to this BLM 2.0 shit. All right, I'm just telling you, it's starting the outrage and all of it. And welcome, beautiful you, Mama. Say justice for Austin Metcalf, karma for Karmelo Anthony. The karma's already hitting, guys. I gotta tell you. I mean, I don't normally have such racially heated topics or political topics, but this today, when I saw how the community that started out as, okay, we're going to support this young black kid, we're going to lift him up. They didn't realize what the family was doing necessarily. And now they're mad. And when we heard Karmelo Anthony's mom say that she's a stay-at-home mom and she was trying to financially be better and watch out for the kids. Well, what went wrong, Mom? Because you were a victim until you started pushing the racial narrative and taking people's money on false pretenses. Where were you as a stay-at-home mom when your son walked out of the door with a knife and stabbed this young man, Austin Metcalf, and took his life? Where were you? Where were the parenting skills? Where were you? I would never say that to somebody's family, but now that I'm seeing this come out, I gotta say the Anthonys are not the victims any longer. In fact, Austin Metcalf is the victim, and I really believe that the family is. You guys are going to be heated when I show you. When I start off with the first thing, you're going to say, wait, what? This would be like going to a press conference for Brian Koberger and hearing that he pled guilty to taking the lives of 4 people, and then the parents going and them dropping some racial shit and kicking them out. So you guys, this is not good. This is not good. And anybody that just walked in, welcome. Catherine, Rosie, Woods Whisper, Nikki, and anybody that's new, just don't forget to hit that like button. I'll give some memberships today since it is the first of the month and it's my birthday month. So I'll give some of those out. Michelle, I'm for the victim. And I believe anybody that comes to guilty of crime knows that we are always for the victim first. All right. So justice for Austin Metcalf. He is not mentioned in any of this, mind you. None of this. The family neglects to say his name. In fact, they don't even say their name. They just talk about races and they pull that card. But guess what? They pulled the card a little too far and people are starting to catch on. All right. So I'm going to just start off with this first clip. or it's not even a clip. It's a first quick news report that says Austin Metcalf's accused killer needs support fighting white supremacy after murder indictment. Wait, what? When did that happen? All right, and happy Canada Day. I know there's a lot of people that come here from Canada. What's up? How you doing? Happy Canada Day. Leo too. What's up, Catherine? Good to see you, my friend. Happy birthday, Melissa. And you guys are gonna, I think you guys are really gonna catch on to this. There's 111 people in chat. 111. Say a prayer that the Metcalfs get complete and utter justice that they deserve. All right. This is awful. This is just, this is an injustice already. All right. So I'm going to show you this real quick. And then we're going to listen to a clip that you're going to be like, what? Say what, Jay? All right. So there's the white supremacy. They call Austin Metcalf's family white supremacist. All right. You see that headline, Austin Metcalf's accused killer needs support fighting white supremacy after murder indictment. And then there you go there, Austin Metcalf on the field. You see the mother and twin brother talking about the attack. We're not going to go over this because I do want to get to the point today and read you that arrest report. Grieving mother, twin brother of murdered Texas speak out. They have to speak out because it's not a united front to say, let's do what we need to. They're racially charging this. And the man at the center of it, in my opinion, is Dominique Alexander. Speaking about Jeff Metcalf and his removal from the April 17 press conference. And we're going to go on to X because there's some shit on X that you have to see. You got to see about the indigent paperwork that needs to be filled out and just some of the quick highlights that I just need you to see, and the give, go, send with some of the comments. The Metcalfs are absolutely not white supremacists, but this self-proclaimed man here, this self-proclaimed whatever you'll see. I'm going to call him the self-proclaimed man. He's self-proclaimed to be an attorney, to be a what is he claiming? Anyway, he says to the racists, you're going to hear him, to the bigots and those filled with hate who've targeted the Karmelos, his family, and even myself. You do not intimidate us. We are not backing down. This case is yet another example of what it means to be Black in America, where even our self-defense is questioned, scrutinized, and politicized. My involvement, like many others, came as a direct response to the overwhelming hate, threats, and outside influence that have surrounded this case since day one. He then asked Anthony supporters for prayers to support the due process and stand with us in the fight against white supremacy, guys. Now, I started telling you about this campaign that was started. It's a campaign. And the Black community is not happy about it. They're not happy about it when these people are walking around with new polished gold chains, claiming to be bodyguards and buying new cars and houses while filling out paperwork that says they don't have enough money for a lawyer, and then kicking a father out of a press conference about his own son that was murdered. What is going on here, man? This is not good. Thank you, Mo, for becoming a member. Happy July month to you. Happy 4th of July week to you all. All right. So thanks. Good to see you. Love you guys. Let's get into all this. There's so much to get into today, and I hope you guys are all for it. I'm going to just start off with a clip to get you charged. I want you to really see what I'm talking about. When you see how charged I am, you're going to see this clip of this self-proclaimed man on here. I smell a lawsuit too, Michelle. I smell many lawsuits and many people wanting a refund for this shit. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Let's go. You're going to hear from all communities today, including ours, including mine. This is our community. All right, let's go.
That want to make this thing a political thing of hate, yet bigotry, and yet racism.
So there is this guy, his name, he goes by Minister Dominique Alexander. Now, from what anyone has figured out so far, as far as I've seen, he's not an actual minister. He thinks he calls himself a social justice minister. That's not a real thing. He is apparently an attorney. He is now an attorney for Karmelo Anthony. Karmelo Anthony is the young man who stabbed Austin Metcalf in the heart and killed him. Died in his twin brother's arms. It's just unimaginable. We've showed you this tweet, so let me.
And this is just to get you going on this topic. It's a quick one. Ain't no refund like GoFundMe refund, and those ones were refunded. So these people are getting heated, and you're going to hear about it. This was the loss of a child. This was a loss of a wrestler. This is a loss for an entire family. This did not call for what's happening here at all whatsoever. And I'm going to show you on X and then give GoSend. And then when we read the arrest report, you're going to say, how does his family not know he's not only guilty, but why did this come to racially charged when you see the other community saying, what?
Let me read this. It'll set us up here. This is from last week. Karmelo Anthony is safe at home. This moment is a reminder that a community united can never be divided. The journey ahead is long, but today we celebrate a victory for justice, for family, and for the power of people coming together to protect our youth. Thank you for everyone who stood with us. The fight continues, but tonight Karmelo is at home. Leave that up for just a second. I just don't even know what to say about this. Look, everyone has the right to a fair trial. Every citizen of America, I know that confuses certain senators from Maryland. Everyone has a right to a fair trial. Everyone has a right to defend themselves. Everyone has a right to a lawyer and all of those things. But with this line, the journey ahead is long, but today we celebrate a victory for justice. He killed a kid. Nobody's debating that. For family and for the power of people coming together to protect our youth. Well, our youth weren't protected because Karmelo Anthony right there murdered Austin Metcalf in cold blood. So then this video, I saw this, I think on Friday. There was a press conference that this social justice minister.
Yeah, I was trying to watch this and I said, social justice, what? This guy is trying to start a race war at one of the most heated times in our lives, with Trump back in office, with the ICE here, with the riots, they're using this as a campaign to fund their personal family needs, wants, whatever. They're not even planning this for their son Karmelo. They're planning it for themselves, and it's a huge fraudulent thing that they're doing. It's a huge fraudulent campaign that may get people, not only more people killed, but people are going to be very upset. Foxy Amazon, thank you so much for the one guilty of crime membership for 420 in honor of your brother Christopher. All right, thank you for that every day. And the Foxy boxes in honor of Christopher.
Minister Dominique Alexander held for Karmelo Anthony, and Jeff Metcalf, who is the father of Austin Metcalf, who within 24 hours of his son being murdered in cold blood, he said that he basically exonerates this kid, right? Like he was just like, I'm not going to be.
Now listen here, beautiful you, what happened in the episode before, you might want to go back and watch it, but we're going to read the arrest report. They were not fighting. They were fighting after Karmelo went into the tent at the school. There's a school event. There's a wrestler. There's wrestling. He was there. Karmelo was there. Austin asked him to move out of their tent. He doesn't go to their school. He's not a wrestler. And then Karmelo reaches in his bag, claims that he was being bullied, and stabs Austin in the chest. All right? It's a clear-cut thing. We played the video before that describes what happened. And when you hear the arrest report, you're going to clearly, okay, it was a track meet, but talking about the wrestlers, and he's not a wrestler at their track meet. Thank you. We went over this in the first one. I debated on playing the original clip, but you're going to get the whole arrest report after this. All right? Using race as smoke and mirrors. Just wait. Sit down, strap in, listen to this part, because I'm going to bring you right to this press conference right here where he essentially kicks out Austin Metcalf's dad by calling him a racist, and then campaigning and collecting all this money with smoke and mirrors.
About this.
And all I'm going to say, so it don't be asked later, is that was disrespectful and just shows you all the character who was not invited.
Now he's saying the character that was not invited. He is talking about Austin Metcalf's dad. Keep listening because he's going to say his name now and then point the finger at him being a racist.
Knows that it's inappropriate to be near this family, but he did it. And so
Why?
I say to people, actions speak louder than words. Okay? What he has failed into is the political operatives
That's you,
that
sir.
want to make this thing a political thing of hate, yet bigotry, and yet racism.
Wait a second, sir. That's your job. That's what you're doing. And when I show you on X a few things by Sarah Fields, and I show you the give, go, send comments that start racially charging this, that's you, sir. You're deflecting. Wait, what?
We have conservative operatives that have been posting nonstop about this case.
What?
I'm actually almost speechless. I don't even know how to analyze that properly. That is one of the most evil, backwards things I have ever heard. The father shows up to the press conference. He wasn't attacking anybody. He wasn't screaming or anything else. He forgave that kid within 24 hours who murdered his son. This man has the gall to say it was disrespectful that he showed up, to impugn his character. He says that tells you everything you need to know about his character. It's inappropriate to be.
And that's a good point. Let's point over there and say, Anthony, Karmelo wasn't invited into the tent at the track meet either. So get out of here, dude. Perfect timing, Michelle Weddle. Good to see you, my friend. What? And this is what starts this whole campaign. And then here it is. He's pointing the finger at everybody. You're right. Karmelo wasn't invited into the track meet or the tent. So please leave and leave your knife in the bag.
Be near the family, the man who forgave the kid for killing his son. Actions speak louder than words. Well, you're right. You got that one right. An action. You know, it was an action. An action was stabbing his son in the heart. A word was saying, hey, you're actually sitting in the wrong section. An action was murdering the guy. And then, of course, he links it to bigotry and racism. I mean, this is, I'm telling you guys, this feels to me like the thing that they're going to do for the midterms. This case is going to just be running throughout the system, and people are going to take all sorts of crazy positions on this. And just remember this, they're going to make this like America's white supremacist state and blah, blah, blah. They're going to make this kid into a hero. They're going to somehow try to make the kid who is dead and the family the bad guys, which is exactly what that guy did right there. And actually, there's more on.
He's nothing. He's a self-proclaimed man. He's not an attorney. I was reading earlier saying that he claims to be an attorney. He claims to be a lot of things. I don't think he's an attorney. I'm saying what he claims. He's a self-proclaimed man that points fingers and talks about bigotry, all while asking for money. And the Anthonys are no better. At first, I sat down, I looked at this case, and I said, wait a minute. These people are victims too. And then I started paying closer attention and digging in. And I said, wait a minute, they were victims as this happened. But now I have to take this into account, They're no better than their son. And no wonder their son is where they are because of the way that they think and their entitled attitudes.
On that, again, from this fake minister, Dominique Alexander.
I asked, because these racist bigots tried to prevent us from standing up for our baby, our boy, he should be afforded the same rights that Kyle Rittenhouse had.
Kyle Rittenhouse.
Daniel Penna, and all of the people who have claimed.
He's comparing him to a school shooter. How does that even stand up, guys? If I were in that family, I would want to jump at that man and do something to him. How is he going to compare Austin Metcalf and any of the family to a shooter? Now I'm speechless, and I usually have a lot to say.
Whatever their defense was, he should be afforded the same right. Nobody in the public media has one video camera, but we got the video of Kyle Rittenhouse with an AK-47 shooting 3 people in the back.
What?
We got that. And he raised more than $2 million publicly, and nobody said anything.
What do you mean nobody said anything? People were calling Kyle Rittenhouse a racist and a white supremacist and all of these crazy things. As a matter of fact,
A protest
he sued
shooter.
CNN, didn't he? And he won millions.
Yes, my bad. I was going to get to that. A shooter. I just meant to say a shooter, a mass shooter. He was a protest shooter. How do you compare Austin that went and said, can you move out of my tent? Can you move out of their tent? I'm sure other people were bothered. They probably told Austin, hey, can you go over there? And do, how is that? How is that? All right.
Millions of dollars from CNN for calling him those things. But you're right, actually, in some sense, you lunatic. Karmelo Anthony, the murderer in this case, he is deserving of the same exact rights as Kyle Rittenhouse and literally anyone who's accused of a crime. He is completely deserving of a free and fair trial and everything else. But it's not racist and bigoted to call out what happened. And by the way, if it happened the other way, you guys would be saying exactly the same thing. A guy on X, Chris Ball, and we did a double check on this. It actually is true. He wrote this. This is Karmelo Anthony. His lawyer is convicted felon.
So look at this, guys. This is a post from Karmelo Anthony. And guys, we were talking about that. His lawyer is a convicted felon, child abuser in Texas. Of all places, they think they can beat the system. Can they beat the people is the question. What are these pictures? And again, it doesn't matter what it is that he did. This guy's right. Doesn't matter what he did before. He didn't have a record, but for his mom to go up there and say, that's what they called him. Okay, listen, he's not the lawyer, but that guy calls himself a lawyer. All right. So that's what he's saying. He's self-proclaimed everything. I know, guys. I know we're reading the articles in there, and that's what it says. It says this is Karmelo Anthony, and then it says his lawyer is a convicted felon, child abuse. Let me show you here. He's self-proclaiming. He originally self-proclaimed to be a lawyer. He self-proclaimed to be a lot of things. So that's what I'm talking about. He is not actually his legal representative, but he was saying that he was initially. All right. So take a look at that. I'm not saying he is, because I'm telling you right now about the paperwork that's going to be filed for him to get a lawyer. He didn't even have a lawyer. He claimed that he's indigent. All right. So let's keep going. I just wanted to show you that. It's on the article above. All right. Carrie, my older brother. All right. Let's keep going. Let me get back to that. He's not anything. He's self-proclaimed everything.
Child abuser in Texas, of all places. They think they can beat the system. Can they beat the people is the question. There's some pictures of Karmelo Anthony. Look, I don't even need to know what was going on with this kid before any of this. In some sense, it doesn't really matter, although there he is with a gun and giving the finger and whatever. In some sense, that doesn't matter. But the fact that this social justice warrior minister, who's not really a minister, yes, what was it in 2019, you said? 2009.
Oh, wait, he's a self-proclaimed minister, too. So he's a self-proclaimed lawyer and a self-proclaimed minister. But really, he's just an ex-felon. You're right, Prophet, for and anybody else that says this. He's a nothing except self-proclaimed. And I'm going to say he's a bigot and he's a racist. And he's starting a campaign that's pissing off all communities, but the Black community is really pissed off. Very self-proclaimed. That's what I'm going to call him. This guy's calling him that too. And
was convicted of child abuse. Like, I just don't even know what to do with this. And here's Virtus, another ex-user posted this, which is super interesting. They went onto CNN and into the search page. And if you search Karmelo, spelled the way that he spells it, Karmelo, there are 0 stories about it right there.
All right. So what we're going to do, we're not even going to keep getting into this. I'm going to stop. We're going to do our own due diligence real quick, and I'm going to show you. And we're working fast because we still got to read through this. So take a look at this here. If you want to follow this story and follow some of the nonsense that's happening, go to X and subscribe to Sarah Fields. I'm not going to log in right now. I didn't mean to do that. You just follow her. How do I get out of this now? Okay, go to Sarah Fields. Those are asking, how could it be? Is it because when you apply for indigency, relatives are not considered when it comes to sources of income? Crime family, all the way around, guys, all the way around, being used by professional grifters. All right. And I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. And then I'm going to show you another post. And we're going to go to GiveSend. Rebecca, thank you for being a member for 5 months. This is definitely a heated conversation for me. I'm not happy about this. You guys know when I presented this last week, I was already calling it a janky campaign. And the further I go into it, the more I see. Thank you, Rebecca. Okay, so crime family is what we want to call the Anthonys. All right, this is a fair defense plan for Collin County District Attorneys. On page 4 and 5, it describes eligibility for indigency. An application for that has been declared truthful under the penalty of perjury. Note 4, note 5. So when you take a look at this, it gives you all of the breakdowns of what you can and cannot have. Here's factors to be considered, whether he can get an attorney. All right, so factors not to be considered. The appointed authority shall not consider the following: the accused posting of bail or ability to post bail. The resources, listen, the resources available to friends or relatives other than that of the accused spouse. He's not married. His family's the one that's collecting these donations. All right, now sources of information. Appointing authority may require the accused, cross your T, dot your I's. Review of status. An accused found of being indigent is presumed to remain indigent for the remainder of the case unless there's a material change in the accused financial circumstances, which means they're not going to put it in his name. They're going to keep it in the parent's name. So then you go into the determination and the definitions. Indigent means financially unable to hire private counsel. Net household income means all income of the accused and spousal income. He's not married and it has nothing to do with his family. All right. Seasonal temporary work, non-exempt, cost of obtaining eligibility. The standards below shall be used in determining whether an accused, all right. And it goes on and on. He is, in fact, eligible. All right. Many people aren't happy about that. And especially the people that have donated to him. All right. So the GoFundMe was already dropped by GoFundMe for what they were using this for. Now they're not using GoFundMe. They're using GiveSendGo, and people want their money back. The donations have stopped at 562,000 as of last week. People stopped giving them, and people want their money back. Indigent. Thank you. Indigent. Every time I read it, I'm like, indigent. Thank you. I get tongue-tied. I know how to pronounce it, but thank you. Indigent. All right, let's keep going. And that's why I'm not reading all by myself today, because there's a lot to read. All right, so you nailed it. Because of his age, he may have slipped through some cracks. Still warrants investigations. People are talking about how he was able to get those funds. And look at this. Look at this, his application. And then you look at this. What? All right, I'm going to drop this one. I'm going to show you the next one real quick, just because it's got they didn't get any further than this. All right, basically, it's just people really upset about what's happening in the community of the Austin Metcalf family and him. And Sarah Fields is just all over this. People are not happy. Even a slap on the wrist and a short sentence, which is unfortunate. He's going to see a dime of them. He's not going to see a dime. It will be his ultimate punishment. The family's going to get it. And then it says, GiveSendGo. This murderer's fundraiser should be shut down. How revolting. Now, this is all people in the community. All right. Can you explain indigent status? Sorry, not sure what it means. Can't wait to see how the Black community reacts to this. He just lost all his support. All right. Now, this is all leading up to today, June 30th, June 28th, July 1st, on and on and on and on and on. All right. Yes, he's broke. His parent spent all his money. He's 17 years old. Bottom line, his parents spent all the money. Doesn't matter that the parents are responsible because he's committed a crime under 18. His mom is a stay-at-home mom, which she should have. What she should have done was watch him leave the house and make sure he didn't have a knife, since she was a stay-at-home mom. What's up, Holly? Good to see you, my friend. Synth, go to the Guilty Crime page. There should be a join button. I sent her the link, but we're not there yet. All right. I'm allergic to raspberries, following the allergic trend. All right. So we're going to pull this down. Go follow Sarah Fields. She's got a lot of content on this. All right. A lot of content. Now let's go to the Give, Go, Send one more time. And then I'm going to show you why the people are outraged. If you have not been here, the community, again, it's the first of the month. Wake up, get up. I wish I could play that song right now. Cash your checks and get up. It's the first of the month. What's up, PGH Deb? How you doing, my friend? I see lots of people in green. Do me a favor. Go get a membership, guys. All right, Jay. Didn't he piss off a few gangs? Absolutely he did, Nikki, but that's not the topic of today. Today we're talking about the Black community and wanting their money back. You're going to hear from them today. All right, so we're looking at this, and we see 542,923. Last week when I brought this to you, there was $540,000. There's only been an additional $2,000 above. The Anthony family created this. Now listen, the funds will be received by Kayla Hayes. That is not Anthony or Karmelo Anthony. So that's why Indigent, boom, here's a lawyer. You can have a public defender, and we can still buy all kinds of shit with the money that we're raising. All right. So there is some recent donations here. 55 minutes ago, 2060. There's some smaller donations. But what I want to show you is I wanted to show you the comments that are very, very racially charged. So hopefully I can get to that. If you weren't here last week, I read this. They said the purpose of the fund. Now, we didn't know he was going to apply to be indigent. Nobody did, and that's why they're mad. While the legal defense is a critical part of the journey, we want to make it clear that this fund is not solely dedicated to legal expenses. The funds will also support a range of urgent and necessary needs that have resulted in the situation, including but not limited to the safe relocation of the Anthony family due to escalating threats to the safety and well-being, as well as basic living costs, transportation, counseling, and other security measures. Now, they started this. They started the Black Lives Matter 2.0. All right. Someone, what's happening in chat? You can't get to the comments, Jay, unless you. Okay. All right. So we're gonna get into that. It's in one of the videos that I have. They started this campaign, calling people racist, calling the Metcalfs white supremacy, calling the supporters that. They started this racially charged campaign, and now they need protection from it, guys. Note to self, do not bring guacamole to the Guilty of Crime get-together. And do not start a racially charged campaign without bodyguards. And do not start a race war and then have your address on all the documentation in court, because that's how it goes. All right. Now that I showed you that, we're going to get to this. All right. Reporter delivers more bad news to the Karmelo family after watching stabbing video as the fundraiser fails. All right. I love this channel. Black Conservator Perspective. 933,000 subscribers. It's in my description. Go subscribe over there. All right. How much money go to the Metcalfs? Nothing. Zero. Zilch. Metcalfs get nothing. Metcalfs get kicked out of a press conference and called a white supremacy group. All right, let's keep going. You can tell I'm not happy about any of this.
Starting out with some breaking news that was first reported this afternoon by J.D. Miles online at cbsnewstexas.com. A Collin County grand jury has now indicted Karmelo Anthony.
He is accused of killing another high school student at a track meet. The story has generated national interest, and our JD is live at the Collin County Courthouse, where he's been gathering reaction to this decision.
I don't know if that was meant for saying that normal parents don't maybe I'm not a normal parent, but I've always paid attention to what my kids put in their backpack. I'm the one that's always had to go through the backpack, make sure they have this stuff, make sure they don't have anything that they shouldn't have, because, you know, there's other times where your kids go to school or you use the backpack to go camping, or I've always checked my kids, even my son, when he was all the way up in high school. I always made sure he didn't have something in his backpack that could get him in trouble, always. And I'm not a stay-at-home mom. No GoFundMe for the Metcalfs, but there is a Give Go Send in for $1.4 million for the people that started the race war. They started this racially charged campaign, and now they are paying for bodyguards. They're not happy.
JD.
Thank you.
Karen and Ken, Collin County District Attorney Greg Willis says his office has been presenting evidence for weeks to a grand jury panel here and asked that panel to return an indictment of first-degree murder on Karmelo Anthony, which they did today.
Yep, they did.
The Black community has been scammed once again. It was the BLM not too long ago. Now the Karmelo Anthony case. How are we donating to somebody that took somebody else's life? No matter the race. No matter the race. That is the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. Now,
every time the narrative gets uncomfortable, us Black people are always trying to say they trying to tear us down. The YT people started this rumor. They the ones that's getting this out there. They the ones doing this. And instead of honesty, y'all want sympathy. But that's not what I'm here for. Okay? I'm here to speak truth and facts. Drew Anthony posted on his social media that they are looking for more lawyer fees. Indigent is for poor people that don't have money to get a.
Yeah, they thought these people were going to be dumb after they did this. No, he is not getting a public defender. He's getting an appointed lawyer. But listen, he just filled out they just filled out for Indigent. So where did that happen? Because listen, I mean, this whole campaign that's happened, and I had a feeling there'd be some people not happy with this, but it's not just me. I mean, we're showing the paperwork that he filled out for that. So, I mean, I'd like to see some proof if that's the case, because I'm not the only one that's mad.
The lawyer, so they have to get a court appointed because nobody has presented a lawyer to the courts. So he has to get a court appointed attorney because they ain't got no money. Ain't that what that means?
Isn't that what that means?
Okay, and people are asking real questions because $600K didn't just disappear. The house didn't buy itself. And now y'all want more money and a free lawyer? Be fucking for real. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
So why are they mad? This is just this is hours ago that this was posted. I have over and over and over. I have so many different YouTubers and TikTokers that are pissed about this. So when did he get a lawyer that he's paying for? Because these people that are talking don't think so. And this is not, there's people after people after people that are turning on the Anthony family.
Like, how can you erase these receipts? Because the father put it up. And I'm going off of what he's saying, not from what I see on social media. No,
exactly.
Not this time. I saw this on Facebook. Yeah, the daddy, Facebook. Drew Anthony posted it. If y'all haven't seen it, go look. But I am going to screenshot it and post it in the comments for the non-believers, because it don't make no sense that y'all trying to spin it like it's some YT people made it up conspiracy. Cool story, though. Cool story. But it doesn't change the facts.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So we have some more bad news for Karmelo Anthony. As yesterday we talked about how the EBT community has turned on the Karmelo Anthony family because...
Oh yeah, I can show you video after video after video of people that are turning on the Anthony family and saying, what are you doing with my money? We thought we were going to pay to help for what? They're going to pay to help for a lawyer, but you're filing indigent. Everybody's following this, guys. You can't ask for money and then expect somebody not to say, what did you do with the money? Hence me. Last year, we were doing the whole roof thing. You guys, we did a give, go, send. I think I raised a maximum of $1,300. And then I posted pictures of what we had done. Although the insurance company paid for the rest of it, I was very transparent with what was happening there. Of course, there's going to be accountability for that. Thank you so much, Jackie Lynn. Good to see you. I appreciate that. You guys, you know how much it helps the channel. Let's keep going. This is unreal to me.
Of the fact that it seems like the family is going broke. Okay, they're
Cool
asking
story,
for
though.
more money,
Yeah.
despite the fact they already raised over $500,000 from the EBT community, who naively believed that Karmelo was acting in self-defense. Okay, and ultimately, at the end of the day, Karmelo has now been indicted on first-degree murder. There's still no strong evidence that has come out yet to suggest that Karmelo acted in self-defense, but yet still you have some people in the EBT community who are still struggling to cope with the reality of this current situation for Karmelo, because again, things are really turning against him and his family.
Now that they see that he is indigent, they want their money back, guys. You can't get your money back by give, go, send, but you can be very heated when you remember how much you have to feed your children, how much you have to pay for your car, how much you have to buy food, and you're giving it away, and you're watching this family try to hit a goal of 1.4 million while they're walking around looking like a hip-hop group hiring bodyguards that they started this. Why would people be attacking you? Well, maybe because you tried to start BLM 2.0.
Family.
This Karmelo Anthony case is really pissing me off. I don't even like talking to black people like this, but I just gotta say what I gotta say. You motherfuckers really got a problem with this man asking for $1.3 million under reasonable circumstances. This dude family receiving threats. They gotta move in another location because their address was leaked. They need security. Even the fucking judge was receiving life threats. And these people are just asking for y'all to help support them through their defense from these two aggressive young boys that tried to cause harm to him. Now, I got respect for Judge Joe Brown. But one thing I noticed, all these black people at the beginning who were supporting Karmelo, all of a sudden turned into a bunch of tap dancing.
I can't imagine why, sir. I can't imagine seeing somebody just line their pockets and walk around with the best suits and the best shoes and just claiming, like, of course your address is going to get leaked. Your son murdered another child. When you're in a legal battle, your stuff is always transparent. It's all out there for the community. Maybe you shouldn't start calling people white supremacists. How about that?
I had no idea the black community was so weak, bro. I didn't realize it. I didn't realize how many sellouts we had. Basically making it seem as if Karmelo deserves to go to prison if he do get convicted from this crime. Judge Joe Brown, his old ass really had the nerve to sit here and say, oh, well, these young boys, they're punks, and I would have did this, and I would have did that. But guess what, motherfucker? You not him. It's easy for you to sit your old ass back and say what you would have did when you ain't got two people twice your fucking size trying to attack you. That shit really pissed me off, bro. Because I grew up fighting, bro. I used to fight a lot. I done got jumped before. I know how it feels to have people attacking you. I done been in that situation before. Actually, I done been in a worse situation than that. We got white women out here calling black kids racial slurs, raising 1.6 million within the 2 weeks. We got white people out here choking black men to death on trains, raising almost, $2-3 million within a fucking week for his defense team. And y'all motherfuckers really telling me that he wrong for asking for an additional $700,000 for a host of reasons that his family named that were completely reasonable.
Yeah, so this is what I'm talking about when I say that, some people just can't be helped.
Thank
right?
you, Jackie.
They
Thank you.
just willingly believe lies because in their head, they're playing the race game, right? Karmelo's black, Austin Metcalf is white. Therefore, it was justified because he's black. The black man never gets a fair shot in court, right? And the system's racist, and white people just making things up. Even though the people who are actually making things up are people like this guy who believes that Karmelo was jumped, even though there's no evidence. There's zero evidence that Karmelo was jumped. And we have more evidence that he wasn't jumped because News Nation actually viewed the video footage, and their reporter is going to deliver some more bad news.
More bad news for the Anthony family, guys. A lot of people don't really stop to pay attention to what's actually happening. And had they paid attention that, yeah, Karmelo is not the victim, they probably would have never donated in the first place. Now, remember, that video that came out, that was an overview of what happened with the newscaster telling us what happened, just came out. So people were just assuming what Karmelo told them, and what Karmelo told them was that these white people were trying to jump him and he was scared for his life and he did what he could, and that's why he took his knife in the first place, because these evil white people and what they did to him. All right, yes, Karmelo is not the victim. The Metcalfs are the victim, and specifically Austin Metcalf.
To Karmelo Anthony, because he's saying the same things that everybody else has said that's actually seen the footage, which is that there was no obvious altercation or any obvious fight that happened leading up to the stabbing. Okay, so. Which again, that's the main thing that these people are using to say that, hey, Karmelo has a strong case of self-defense. He was jumped by the Metcalf boys, right? They was beating on dude, right? Again, there are a lot of people, ignorance, who believe this because of individuals like Tariq Nasheed, Willie D, the Amazing Bottom, who all peddle this disinformation, this lie, okay, that has no evidence behind it, that Karmelo was jumped, right? And that's what people sincerely believe. And for whatever reason, they haven't updated themselves on the fact that people have viewed the...
And not even just that. That's why we're talking about it today, because we're going to read the arrest report. And he absolutely did not get jumped, nor did he tell the officer that he got jumped. But boy, is he telling his friends and whoever will listen and send him money to this freaking ridiculous give, go, send that he got jumped. Well, guys, we're here to educate people, and we're here to tell you, wherever you sent your money, it's probably gone. I hope that they ask for receipts. And I did just give 5 more Guilty of Crime memberships. I hope somebody that wants it gets it. Welcome new members. Justice for Austin. There's a lot more people waiting to say something.
Video footage, and there's no evidence that happened. None of the witness statements that were collected by the police have said that happened. Karmelo didn't say that happened, even though he did say that he did it, right? He admitted that he did it. Karmelo's family, his handler, nobody has said that happened, right? And again, I think that's part of the reason why a lot of these individuals are quiet, right? They're not really doing any more Karmelo update videos because it seems like they were very, very, very wrong. Okay. So that being said, let's go ahead and get into some more bad news for Karmelo.
Texas grand jury indicted 17-year-old Karmelo Anthony just last week for a deadly altercation that happened at a Texas track meet in April. And now News Nation has viewed a critical piece of video evidence. 17-year-old Austin Metcalf was killed. Anthony admits he stabbed Metcalf while both took cover under a team tent during a rain delay. But Anthony says he was acting in self-defense. News Nation's Rich McHugh has been tracking this case. And Rich, you are one of the reporters who got to view this important piece of evidence.
Yeah, Nicole, they allowed me to view this video under strict conditions. I couldn't record anything. I couldn't take pictures. I could take.
All right, so we're gonna spread even more awareness after this, reading the report, so everybody knows what happened. And that is funny to call him the handler of Karmelo Anthony. That makes me laugh a little bit. Now, I'm not laughing at anybody in the community that gave money for that. I feel really bad for those who gave money and took from themselves or their children to help fund this character and the family. All right. So yes, do me a favor, hit that like button, guys. Subscribe if you haven't. Hopefully you got a membership today.
Notes, but that's about it. They would play it one time and they wouldn't even rewind it or play it again, even the moment in question. So what I saw in the video was ultimately it's from the press box across the field on the 45-yard line. You can view a yellow tent across the field. That's where this incident happened. There's no sound on the video. It's raining, and you can see about 30 to 40 people around the field. It's a track meet that morning, so they're preparing for this track meet. The incident in question happens at 9:44 a.m. It's really calm up until that point, and then chaos ensues, and you can't really make up anybody. You can't make out individuals. You can see people and colors and what they're wearing, but you can't make out identities. But again, at 9:44, chaos ensues. What I did not see was any obvious physical altercation leading up to the stabbing. Now, I went inside the stadium earlier this morning to try and give our viewers a better vantage point of where this all happened. Take a look. Across the field, you can see where the press box cameras captured everything. We're on the 45-yard line here. This is where it ultimately happened. There's a tent right up here.
Remember, everything is on camera, and there's new footage that's going to come out soon, you guys. It's definitely going to come out soon. It's going to be dropped. The reporters are telling us about what's happening. We're going to fill in the blanks on the arrest report as we read through it, and then there'll be no doubt about what happened. Self-defense? Question mark? What?
The kind of the sports tent where everybody was huddled at 9:44. Whatever went down happened right here. Everybody kind of took off. Now, according to police reports, Austin Metcalf and Karmelo Anthony were here at this track meet. Austin Metcalf told Anthony he needed to move out from under their team's tent when Anthony grabbed his bag, reached inside and told Austin, quote, touch me and see what happens. The police report states Metcalf grabbed Anthony to tell him to move. Anthony pulled out a knife, stabbed Metcalf once in the chest and ran. Metcalf died in his twin brother's arms. And now, as of last week, Karmelo Anthony indicted for first-degree murder. Nicole?
So, Rich, how might this affect court?
Well, it's a good question. Court date has not yet been set. His first appearance is set, I believe, for July 17th. This video...
Guess what, folks? The trial isn't going to happen probably until 2026. So we're going to have to sit on this while we play videos from Jumpsuit Pablo that tells us he's a target, and AG, two of my people that I love to watch, by the way, which I'll be happy to share with you. But we do want to share their awareness. I have some more stories after this from people that are not happy.
Video, from what I saw, the question I have is, will they be able to enhance it and to view it, to zoom in? Because what I saw happened very quickly, and there was no obvious altercation just before. So it could be a case where both sides will see what they want to see. The question remains, how much can they kind of alter or zoom in on this video, Nicole?
All right. Rich McHugh live for us there as this case continues to unfold.
There it is,
Rich,
guys.
thank you.
So, again, this reporter and his statements, right, what he witnessed is in line with every single news report that I've seen so far. Okay, the Daily Mail, local news, everybody who's seen the video is saying the exact same thing, that we don't see any obvious physical altercation.
None, guys. It's just how it says. He asks him to move. He pulls out a knife from his backpack, stabs him, and runs. All right? Yes, this fool, the Anthonys, they were there. This fool is out on bond, doing whatever he wants to do. Oh, he has a leg monitor, but he's in a new house that they rented and driving around in cars, nice cars, getting to do things with people, bodyguards that he's paying. What else are they? I mean, how are they living the high life? It doesn't sound like anything that the Metcalfs are going through. What's up, Ryan? Good to see you, my friend. Guilty of crime and Foxy. Yes, he's claiming self-defense. All right, let's keep going. We got a doozy today.
Leading up to the stabbing. Now, again, why is that important, right? Well, it's important because as of right now, based off the witness statements, Karmelo Anthony does not have a strong self-defense case, okay? However, if the video was to show that Karmelo was actually being jumped or that he was actually being attacked,
they would
say like physically beaten, then that could change things, right? That could change the facts, right? But what we have right now basically is witness statements to the police that suggest that Karmelo was not being attacked. At most, he got grabbed or he got pushed.
All right, so we're going to read into that. I showed you that. I wanted to show you a couple more things before we read it that will get you even more heated. Mel, good to see you. I've heard that from every single person as well, that Anthony was a problem. This was not a school that was in Compton. This is not Boys in the Hood where people are packing and they have to bring a knife because they're going to get jumped every day. And nor did he get jumped. Nobody did anything to him. He asked him to leave. He didn't like it. And there you have it. Again, he told the officer that he stabbed him. Of course, he added it was self-defense right after that. But he really is, the whole family is causing this to be racially charged. And the reason that their campaign is working and they've raised so much money is because people jumped onto the bandwagon and started throwing money at the family. This kid is not in jail. He's out on bond. He's got a freaking ankle monitor doing whatever he needs to do while Austin is no longer alive. All right, so we got more people turning on him, and then we'll get to the reading. Synth is going to come up here. Synth, I'll give you a heads up.
Going wrong. I don't know what his family doing, but y'all going through some money. I ain't no way you got $538,000 from GoFundMe for your legal fees, and you asked for $1.4 million. Oh, something ain't right. Y'all did some of that money. I don't care what you say. You don't go through $500,000 that's supposed to be for his legal fees and ask for $1.4 million. The cat's out the bag. The family did some of that money. That money's supposed to go for that boy's legal defense. And now you spending it or doing something. I ain't no, you gonna ask for $1.4 million. This is outrageous. The family of Karmelo Anthony needs to be investigated because you got $500,000.
We're going to read the rest report, Emily, rather than listening to anybody. And I did see the family's interviews and all that, but we're just going to go straight to the source. What's going to come out? Who said what? Thank you. Yeah, we there's a lot to cover in this case. This is only my second episode.
For his legal fund, and you getting a court-appointed attorney and ask for $1.4 million? That's crazy.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am frustrated, I am tired, and I'm damn near heartbroken. Because what I'm looking at right now, what I'm reading about the Karmelo Anthony case, this ain't just sad. It's sinful. It's shameful. It's sick. You mean to tell me this man is facing a first-degree murder charge, facing life in prison, and he just filed an indicted form? He's broke after supporters raised over $538,000 for his legal defense.
I really don't think people sat there and read about everything. I don't think they sat there and read the fine print. I think they felt duped. I think they watched the news conference and they assumed that the Metcalfs were white supremacists and all this shit. They just were being, out of the kindness of their heart, they were trying to stand up for the Black community and be part of it and helpful. But wow, what do you know?
This ain't gonna fly. Not today, but somebody got to say it, and I guess it's me. Fees. They said it was to protect this young man and give him a fair shot at fighting for his life. But now, here we are, less than 2 months later, and this kid got no money left. He filed an indignant packet requesting a court-appointed attorney, meaning he can't afford his own defense anymore. And I'm supposed to believe this is just a coincidence? Hell no. Somebody got to pull the curtain back on these parents, because to me, this...
Yes, it's indigent. We got it, but I'm not saying it. He is. Indigent. All right, let's keep going.
Ain't adding up. Let's talk about that house. The family moved into a $900,000 rental in Frisco, Texas. One of the most upscale, high-end, gated communities in the area. They said it was because they were getting death threats. Okay, let's say I believe that. But why the $900K price tag? Why not a $300K safe house out in the country? Why not a secure apartment with a private security? Why the luxury zip code? Then let's talk about the car. A neighbor told reporters that a brand new car showed up soon after they moved in. New paper tags, fresh off the lot, expiring June 4th. And you mean to tell me that was paid for with security expenses? Or was that just mom and dad enjoying the donation run? The boy should have had a lawyer day one. I'm talking about top tier, no games, murder case attorney behind him. Retainers paid, hours billed, motions filed. But instead, we got a family blowing money on a house and a car, talking about bodyguards and living expenses, and now begging for another $1.4 million. Come on, dog. And
so Karmelo Anthony's family raised all of that money, and now they're filing in court that they're indigent, meaning that they're poor and they need a court-appointed an attorney. So what's so sad is that they literally threw their own son under the bus for financial gain.
Yep.
That's
absolutely.
Just what this is, because They should have took a plea deal for that boy.
Yes.
They should have took a plea deal for him, and they did not do that. And now he is facing life in prison.
Yes, guys. Yes, she's made the best point all day. He should have took a freaking plea. He should have said, his parents should have had some sense to sit down and sit down with the family. But no, they want to go and start this campaign and Black Lives Matter 2.0. Well, people are seeing through it, and the parents don't seem to be caring so much about Karmelo, how Carmelo's going to be in prison with little money as they blow through all of it with people head hunting him. All right. Yeah, there is definitely no problem. You definitely see how people switch with the divided and misinformation, but they didn't read the fine lines, and now people are pissed. I would be too.
And that is so freaking sad, but they hustled y'all though. They played on y'all emotions because
of course not.
Black. And I don't even know. I mean, honestly, they knew the whole time that he did it.
Good mother morning worlds. I am so disgusted. I promise you, I'm so disgusted. What I just heard is made me so disgusted this morning. It's crazy. Now, like, the whole world was invested in talking about the Karmelo Anthony situation. Sometimes I tell you, Black people, boy, they just...
Now, I gotta tell you, you guys would be pissed off if this guy wrote a book and made a bunch of money, or he did a Netflix deal and they gave him $1.4 million. I'm sure everybody would be very, very upset. Now, imagine what they did, and then them filing the paperwork saying they can't afford a lawyer, running around calling the Metcalf family racist. And it's not just that. I mean, if you do read the Give, Go, Send, there's a lot of that in there. And then they realize, oh shoot, that didn't happen. The family turned it to that. The self-proclaimed handler made it that way.
Just the worst. They the fucking worst sometimes. Hear me out. Hear me the out, okay? Because this shit don't make no sense. I'm trying to wrap this shit around my head and comprehend some of this bullshit that I just heard. Everybody and their mama was invested or even talking about or heard about the situation with Karmelo Anthony, because I think it's disgusting how some of these families think. And it's not just Black people, but sometimes, to me, my opinion, sometimes Black people just think about the dumbest shit to buy and purchase and don't think about the long-term shit or the main source of what they need the money for.
Hey, that's all of us, folks. But listen up here. They really just wanted to help a kid in the Black community that wasn't 18 yet. He was going to graduate, and then they hear this horror story about him getting jumped. He was just minding his own business, and these bully twins go and jump him. How dare those white supremacists do that?
You feel me? I promise you. I don't know what the fuck his family was thinking. I don't know what the fuck is going on with people. What's wrong with somebody that would do something like that? The whole purpose of raising the money was to get for the child.
Y'all, so I deleted my video about Karmelo Anthony family because is that not true? Because I don't like that. Now it's
all right. This is the last one, Synth, and then I'm going to have you hop on there so we can read that, and you could use your judgment on how much we need to read to convey to the audience what happened at that track meet, the deadly track meet. All right. Yeah. Instant gratification. We all do that. We all do that. I mean, I'm guilty of that myself. For someone to say something like, even, hey, my dog needs something, a surgery, donate to me. Absolutely. I'm all over that. A lot of times I don't read the fine print where it might say, I'm not actually going to give my dog a surgery, but instead I'm going to the spa to get a facial. That's what happened. Essentially, they got duped and they feel it.
Everywhere, everybody's talking about it. So is it true? Do they want the money or do they not? Like, I mean, that's the real big question here, because that's the point that I was trying to make in my video. But they said new car, new house, gated community, all that. So what's really tea about it? Like, do anybody know the truth? Because I'm not understanding why is that going around. I mean, literally, I heard it. But if I'm wrong, I'm going to start deleting the videos because y'all got me. Y'all not finna clip farm me.
Now, I got to tell you, Emily, they actually did have a GoFundMe and it reportedly got up to $160,000 and it was shut down by the GoFundMe policy. So I did read, and it might be false, but it did say GoFundMe shut it down at $160,000. So they went to GiveSendGo. So if you have an article on that shows that they raised zero money on GoFundMe and it shut down right away, let me know, because you can't have a GoFundMe to for a criminal. You can't do that for a criminal that is there's some stipulations on that, but it's essentially a brutal criminal act, or for those kind of fees. They did shut it down, but they told me I read that it was $160,000 that they gave, and then they realized that. Okay, when I read that, it looked like they opened it and then shut it down right away, when in fact they didn't. All right.
So, and y'all probably already did, but guess what? It don't mother. And I said what the fuck I said. Do they want the money?
Yes, they
I mean,
are.
like, what's really going on? I don't know. It's so many rumors that go around on the internet, but y'all know how the internet is. So it's no reason why I should sit here and delete my video. But I did because I'm for my people at the end of the day, and I need to know, do they want some money again? Did they say they want some money? I believe. Okay.
All right, guys.
Bye.
All right, Synth, anytime you want to jump up, I'm going to just play this while I'm waiting for you to come backstage.
Karmelo Anthony's daddy, Drew, on the internet requesting for $1.4 million donation again. What did y'all do with all that money?
Yeah, people are demanding that they show receipts. Now, Tiff, I think you missed the very beginning. We went over the indigent. We went over the indigent rule, and he, in fact, did apply, and he, in fact, can apply because the money's not going to him. He doesn't have a spouse or any of that. Let me just read her comment real quick. Emily says, yeah, that was what I thought too. And then a GoFundSend account was open, and the GiveSend said they were in support of Anthony's. Yeah, because they have different rules that are not like GoFundMe, and so they did 160K. Boom, got taken down. Now people are mad because of misinformation and they don't quite understand what's going on. All right, so now we're going to go over that. I'm going to pull this up, the arrest report, and we're going to take a look at that so we can see it for ourselves. And Synth is going to help read it. Let me add her to the stage, and boom, there we go. Go fund, send, go grift me, boom. All right.
A good one.
All right, here we go. All right, so we're going to look at this arrest report. Hopefully it's good enough for you. I'll scroll down when we need to. We want to see exactly what happened here, guys. What actually happened. All right, so there's the arrest report. Synth, I'm assuming you're looking from your side.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, so you guys see here, of course, when you have a report like this, it tells you everything. Look at that. So you got the address. It was 6927 Stadium Lane, Frisco, Texas. I'm assuming that was at the school, right? Arrest report. They blanked out the address here, but they don't live there anymore. Free information when you get arrest report, everything's out in the open. All right, cashier, first-degree felony, murder, incident. All right, there's the narrative. How do you want to go? You ready?
Okay, I'm going to read the narratives.
Can you lower your thing just a little bit?
Volume?
Yeah, lower your volume a little bit.
Okay, hold on.
I feel like it's a lot louder than
now.
Mine. A little bit, little lower.
Okay, hold on.
Because if I lower because everything else is.
I know there's a different place, but I have to figure out where.
All right, I don't think I can. Let me see if I can lower it. I don't think, but I don't want to lower mine.
No. There's one on mine. I don't remember how to get in there. I think Foxy had helped me last time.
Yeah, it is. It's longer than anyone thought. There's a lot of what is it? Is it addendums or amendments to it? Supplemental. Yeah, there's a lot going on in here. They've got the narrative, it's the initial narrative. Yeah, there's quite a bit. And if you don't educate yourself on it, then you don't know exactly what happened. That's the thing.
I don't know where to go to change it.
All right. I don't know how to lower your if you back up a little. If you back up a little.
Automatically adjust mic. Hold on.
Let's see, where's.
Here we go. I think I got it. Try that. Is that better?
Yeah, that's much better. You were like blaring in my ears.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Is that better?
Yep, much better. All right, you guys good? All right, she's going to read.
Okay.
She's going to start with an initial narrative, and then we'll decide what we need to put in there and what we don't. Let's go.
Okay. All right. Media, date 4/2/25, 1704, which means 5:04 p.m. Officer Cortez Eduardo. Adult male was taken into custody following a stabbing call on FISD property. Initial narrative, same date, 04/02/2025, 1704, which is 5:04 p.m. Officer Cortez. On 4/2/2025 at 10:01 hours, which would be.
Thank you, Emily. You're good.
10:01 a.m.
Yeah.
That's not such a weird way to say it. I, Staley School Resource Officer E. Cortez, heard over the radio dispatch call out a stabbing call at David Kuykendall Stadium, 6927 A Stadium Lane, Frisco, Collin County, Texas. FPD call notes indicated that an athlete was stabbed. The suspect was reported as being a black male wearing a gray hoodie and blue sweatpants. I immediately left my office and ran across the Staley Middle School parking, 6927 Stadium Lane, Frisco, Texas lot, towards the southwest entrance into the stadium. As I entered the stadium, 2 high school age students informed me that the victim was on the north end of stadium by the bleachers under Memorial High School tent. I did not identify these students. Next, I proceeded towards the north end of the stadium visitor side on foot. As I got closer to the north end, I could see the Memorial High School tent with multiple individuals under the tent. Once I arrived onto the north side bleachers, an adult male who was on the track pointed out the suspect. I was not able to identify that witness. The individual that was pointed out to me was a black male wearing a gray hooded sweater and dark colored Nike pants. The suspect at this point was on the track on the north end. There was a chain link fence that separated me from the suspect. I gave the suspect instructions to keep his hands up in the air. During this time, the suspect said verbally out loud, "I was protecting myself." It should be noted that I had not questioned him about the incident when he made that comment. I asked him if he had any weapons, and he said no. I patted him down for weapons while we were walking along the fence, and I did not locate any on his person. I instructed the male to continue walking along the fence, which he complied, towards an area where there was an opening in the fence that led off the track. While walking him off the track, the suspect also said he put his hands on me. I then detained the suspect in handcuffs, handcuffed behind his back, and had him sit down on the ground. Officer A. Ricci had arrived on scene at this time. I conducted another pat-down of his person and then searched his person. After he gave me consent, no weapons were located. While the suspect sat on the ground, I advised that I had the alleged suspect. The suspect then responds and says, "I'm not agitated, I did it."
There it is. Stop. We'll stop first. Okay.
I'm not alleged I did it. I'm sorry.
Okay.
It's kind of blurry. Sorry.
Okay,
It's alleged.
Okay.
So next, Officer Ricci and I walked the suspect to patrol vehicle number 2412. This is Officer A. Ricci's patrol
There
vehicle,
it is.
which was on the northeast gate of Kuykendall Stadium.
There it is.
As we were walking to the squad car, the suspect was emotional and said, "He put his hands on me. I told him not to." I did not question the suspect about the incident while he was escorted to the patrol vehicle. I searched his person once again, and I had him sit in the back seat area driver's side of patrol vehicle 2412. While the suspect was in the back seat, I noticed fresh blood on his left middle finger. I verbally acknowledged that I saw the blood out loud so that it would be captured on my body-worn camera. It should also be noted that the suspect asked me, "Is he going to be okay?" while he was in the back seat. I then identified the suspect. He provided his name and date of birth verbally as Karmelo Anthony, black male, with a date of birth of, which I ran through FPD dispatch. Officer Jay Hancock arrived on scene and remained with me and the suspect at this point. Karmelo was then checked via a school database for FISD students to also confirm his ID. The identifying information he provided matched the individual I had in custody, Karmelo Anthony. Next, I was advised by Sergeant Holland to transport the subject to the Frisco PD jail. Officer Hancock and I transported him to the FPD jail. Again, I did not question Karmelo about the incident. Upon arriving at the Frisco jail, Karmelo was escorted to the intake area. FPD jail staff changed him out into jail attire. I remained with the jail staff the entire time that he was charged over.
Are we on the wait, hold on, pause real quick. Sorry about that. We didn't get to supplemental yet. Are you still reading? I'm trying to catch up with you. Okay, we are. So we are.
I'm almost toward the end.
Okay. I was trying to find it. When you get to the
have lines on this so that you can.
When you get to the
match it
bottom
up,
of
it's
the.
hard.
Yeah, let's pause when we get to the end of this page. Okay. All right, cool.
Okay. The clothes that Karmelo was wearing was placed in an FPD paper evidence bag. The clothes remained in my possession from this in my patrol 2412, along with Officer Hancock, which was in the FPD Sally Port, and placed Karmelo's clothes in the back trunk area. I drove patrol vehicle 2412 out of the Sally Port and parked the squad car in the FPD patrol parking area. Karmelo's clothes remained in the trunk area of vehicle 2412. FPD crime scene technician Kay Dillard then took possession of Karmelo's clothes. I added my body-worn camera to the case. I have no further information to report. End.
Oh my God, I wanna get that body cam so bad, guys. We want that body cam. That was me controlling the cursor. I was trying to catch up with her. It's all on the screen. There's no lines or anything. But this, I mean, already we see a lot more than I think a lot of people looked into at all, right? The video wasn't out until late last week, and nobody's over there reading the arrest report to see that in fact he should have just took a plea deal. His family should have took a plea deal, and in my opinion, a lot of people are coming around saying that now. Yeah, he admitted it, and you can read this report, and we're gonna have the body cam at some point, guys.
Yeah, this is the middle of 2 of 7. People want to know.
All right, we'll keep going. So we're
middle of 2-7. We're on the same day, but this is supplemental to different officer.
Right here,
Officer Allison Ritchie.
All right, where am I?
Where's 2 of 7?
Okay,
look
so
on the top.
It says 3 of 7.
You're too far ahead. Stop.
Right here. Okay,
Yeah,
2 of 7. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to start where that part is kind of blacked out. That's the part I'm trying to start at, okay?
Right here. Perfect.
All right. So again, supplemental 0402 2025 1704, which is 504. This is when they wrote the report in, not when it occurred, so people understand. Officer Ritchie Allison. On 4/2/2025 at 10:01 hours, I, Officer Ritchie, 3806, was wearing a full Frisco police uniform, and I was operating a fully marked Frisco police vehicle 2412. At about that time, I was dispatched to the report of a stabbing at David Kuykendall Stadium at 88257 7th Street, Frisco, Collin County, Texas. Frisco Police Dispatch advised an athlete had been stabbed. The suspect was described as a black male wearing a gray hooded sweatshirt and blue sweatpants. I responded code 3 from the area of El Dorado Parkway and Frisco Street. I arrive on scene at approximately 10:05 hours, so 4 minutes after she got the call. When I arrived on scene, I approached the track field area and saw Officer Cortez kneeling next to a black male wearing a gray hooded sweatshirt and blue sweatpants. The male, later identified as Karmelo Anthony, black male, blah, 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 was in handcuffs and was seated on the sidewalk by the entrance to the track. As I approached Officer Cortez stated Anthony was the alleged suspect. Anthony then made a spontaneous statement and stated, I am not alleged. I did
it. Oh my God. All right, keep going. Sorry.
Officer Cortez conducted a pat search of Anthony's person to ensure Anthony did not have any weapons and found nothing of evidentiary value. Officer Cortez and I then walked Anthony to my pre-searched patrol vehicle, and Anthony was seated in the rear driver's side compartment of my patrol vehicle. While walking to my patrol vehicle, Anthony made another spontaneous statement and asked if what happened could be considered self-defense. I replied by telling Anthony I did not know what happened. It should be noted that the in-car camera in my patrol vehicle was activated prior to Anthony being placed in my patrol vehicle.
Oh, more cam.
While Officer Cortez assisted Anthony into my patrol vehicle, I noticed Anthony had blood on his left middle finger. I grabbed my department-issued digital camera and took a photograph of Anthony's hands. I later uploaded the photograph to the crime scene folder under the case number. Officer Cortez remained with my patrol vehicle and Anthony while I provided assistance with scene security. Nothing further from this officer. End statement of end of page 2.
All right, guys, what do you see already? I mean, and again, somebody said that he took the knife and hid it in the grass, so that's why they didn't find it just yet. But I mean, I don't know how much clearer things can be and why the case took a turn other than people are just not educated about it. And the family is acting like their son, the Karmelo Anthony's a victim, and they played the race card. And I think it's going to backfire even more after today. Because these videos I'm showing you are from hours ago and last night.
Yeah.
Okay.
And once everybody hears this information, they're going to be like, wow.
Yeah, what? He admitted it. Okay, let's go.
So now we're on the beginning of page 3 of 7, date 04/2025, 1704, Officer Otis Will. Okay, I haven't heard Will's name yet. On Wednesday, April 2nd, 2025, at around 10:01 hours, Frisco Police Department officers were dispatched in Frisco Independent School District. Thank you. Now we know what that means. David Kuykendall Stadium, 6927 Stadium Lane, A, Frisco, Collin County, Texas, in reference to a stabbing victim call. Frisco Police Department Emergency Communications was receiving an emergency call regarding an athlete that was stabbed. The originally unknown assailant was a black male wearing a gray hoodie and blue sweatpants and also had a goatee and short hair. The subject was possibly wearing Centennial High School Centennial attire, as it was believed he was a student there for the sporting event. This had all taken place on the visitor side of the stadium, north side, and the victim was under the Memorial High School memorial tent in the bleachers. At around the same time, School Resource Officer, SRO, Cortez arrived on screen and began assisting the victim, trainers, and the other parties. Officer Cortez also advised on the radio that he also had the suspect. Sergeant Otis was working the 50s, is that right?
Sector.
50 sector?
Yeah, 50 sector as a sergeant.
As a sergeant, he was in full police FPD gear with distinct patches and a badge and a police duty belt. He was also in a marked Frisco Police Department patrol vehicle 2315. He was relatively close to the call and placed himself on it at around 10:02 hours and responded to the call with his patrol vehicle's overhead emergency lights and sirens activated. He arrived to the call at around 10:06 hours, so a minute after the lady officer. Sergeant Otis arrived to the stadium and began walking up to the location. At around this time, Officer Cortez and Officer Ritchie were walking a black male suspect away from the stadium. The suspect was crying hysterically. Please see the other involved officers' narratives for their involvement. Sergeant Otis walked up to the visitor bleachers and observed the victim being taken by Frisco Fire Department personnel and also the athletic trainers. The weather began to turn and it began to heavily downpour rain at this time. Jeez. Some of the FISD staff moved the memorial tent to cover the victim and the FFD personnel. Sergeant Otis began using his city-issued phone to snap crime scene photos and to preserve as much of the scene as possible due to the weather and the large gathering of people that were involved in the incident. I'm pausing there.
Okay,
I never heard anything about the weather. That's insane.
Yeah, we haven't
because
heard
they had to
any.
preserve so they're even more commotion trying to rip this tent off that was probably staked,
right,
and then lift it up and then move it over the person. That's crazy talk. Okay,
Yeah,
anyway.
well, we haven't heard anything about anything. Everything that I've watched has been like just a straightforward. Either he was bullied, or
right.
just we didn't hear any of this, and I don't think people stopped to do it either.
Okay, so, and the large gathering of people that were involved in the incident, they all went under the tent. Other officers began to set up a crime scene with tape moving non-essential personnel out of the immediate area. The officers on scene were informed that the knife that was used was tossed and was still believed to be somewhere close. Eventually, one of the witnesses said they remember seeing it on the bleachers still. Officer Schultz was able to locate the knife. It was located between rows 9 and 10 near seat 30, closest to the aisle, partially open. Switchblade. The rain began to come down again heavily, and it was determined that instead of moving the knife, the officers would cover it with a large blue tarp.
All right, there you go. Wait, stop. Where are we?
I'm at the second. I'm at the very last paragraph. So
okay.
I will hold it.
All right. So right here, when I arrived.
Sergeant Otis.
Oh, Sergeant Otis. Oh, right here.
End of the page.
3-7.
Page 3 of 7. Yeah, the very last paragraph, and then I'll go into the next human.
Okay. All right.
That's
cool.
where I'm at.
Yeah.
You want me to keep going?
Yeah, keep going. Definitely.
All right. Okay. Remember, pause or continue. All right. Sergeant Otis assisted in preserving the immediate crime scene as much as possible while the other personnel tended to the victim and eventually transported him. At around this time, Officer Witzel had the crime scene log and began logging the individuals on the call to the best of his abilities. Lieutenants Crawford and Pemberton relieved Sergeant Otis of the scene. Sergeant Otis went back to the police department to download his body cam and the photos he took with the city-issued phone. Sergeant Otis's city-issued phone had a total of 33 photos that were used to document the incident scene. During the download, the initial photos formatting was incompatible with the crime scene folder. He re-downloaded the photos that he took, and they were able to be saved properly for preservation of evidence. At this time, there is nothing further to add to this report. Pause.
All right, so we're on page 4 or 7 after, and I mean, we could see as
end of F3-7, and then we'll go into 4.
Yeah. Sure. I just want to make sure everybody's on the same page. We just want to make sure we put everything out there so they can see it. And I see everybody's side. I know that these are both children. I mean, we've all went to high school. I remember these kind of track meets and football games and tensions. It happens. It happened when I was in high school and I went to those things, even with the cheerleaders, even with the football players. I just never seen somebody go for a knife and then stab somebody in the chest.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So, all right, let's keep going.
Now we are at same date, same time, but this is Officer Wetzel Taylor. On Wednesday, April 2nd, 2025, Officer T. Wetzel, 3698, was assigned to work patrol in the city of Frisco at approximately 10:02 hours. I responded to the report of a stabbing at David Kuykendall Stadium, located at 8825 7th Street. The original call note stated an athlete had been stabbed in the chest and that the suspect that stabbed the victim goes to Centennial High School. Athletic trainers were on site and were providing care to the victim and advised he was not conscious and not breathing. The notes also indicated that the suspect was a black male with a goatee and short hair wearing Centennial gear. I arrived on scene at approximately 10:06 hours. When I arrived on scene, I grabbed a roll of crime scene tape from my trunk and proceeded to the visitors' bleachers, where dispatch advised the victim was. While I was walking towards the visitors' bleachers, I was approached by a witness who identified himself as blank, began telling me what happened, and I asked him where the stabbing occurred. They advised it happened under the Memorial High School pop-up tent in the visitors' bleachers. I immediately informed Sergeant Otis where the witness stated the stabbing occurred and gave him the crime scene tape to start securing the crime scene.
Yeah,
I
agreed.
then had blank move to the walkway under the visitors' bleachers out of the rain to further speak with me. The following is a summary of my contact with blank.
Pause for a second. 1 second. All right. Where are we on the second square, officer?
So the very last redacted line on page 3.
3?
Yeah, stop scrolling.
Okay.
Go down. No,
Right
go
here?
up yeah, the very end of that page. I'm on the last sentence of that page.
Okay. All right, guys. Let me just stop for a second. And yes, so you guys please have good chats in there. I know there's some joking going on. Foxy definitely likes to joke around. I don't think she would make an ignorant comment, but I would hope not. So I knew yesterday that it would be a little bit controversial. So let's just assume we're all friends here in this chat and we're not trying to offend anyone. And Prophet Fair, you're absolutely right. I remember growing up with kids that weren't of color doing these stupid gang signs that didn't mean anything. And I have pictures of me holding weapons, and it doesn't mean that I'm a gangbanger or any of that. So he doesn't have an arrest record. We don't know what he was doing before. I know, Foxy. I saw Nanaska responding to you about something, and I said, I don't want anybody to get offended by anything. So Teresa says bye. And yes, thank you. We all have different opinions and we can all speak them. All right. We can all speak them with each other. It's a safe place here. It's supposed to be anyway. All right.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right.
So blank advised he was sitting under the Memorial High School pop-up tent with his team and was next top of 4-7. So can follow me.
He's not innocent at all. All right.
The victim, Austin, and the suspect, who was later identified as Karmelo Anthony, black male, date of birth, blank, Anthony, was from Centennial High School and was sitting under the Memorial High School tent. Austin had told Anthony that he needed to move out from under their team's tent, and Anthony grabbed his bag, opened it, and reached inside and proceeded to tell Austin, "Touch me and see what happens." No one really thought Anthony really had any weapons in his bag, and Austin proceeded to touch Anthony. Then Anthony told Austin to punch him and see what happens. A short time later, Austin grabbed Anthony to tell him to move, and Anthony pulled out what blank recalled as a black knife and stabbed Austin in the chest and then ran away. Austin began grabbing his chest and telling everyone to get help. Blank advised he did not know Anthony's name, but stated another Memorial Track member, Blanky Blank, was friends with Anthony and he could identify Anthony. Blank described Anthony as a black male, skinny, with possibly a goatee, short puffy hair, and wearing Centennial High School clothing. This concluded my contact with blank. I then was instructed to start a crime scene log. I retrieved a crime scene log from my patrol vehicle and began starting the crime scene log. I was later relieved by Officer Schultz, who took over the crime scene log, and I cleared the scene. Nothing further attached to original report. End.
All right. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, and when the videos come out, body cam, I hope we get to see all this. And I hope we get to see the pictures because we're all visual people. I am anyway. And
Carrie can start working on that because Carrie wants to do FOIAs.
Yes. Come on, Carrie. Where are you, Carrie? Yeah, get it, girl. All right.
All right. Now we are going to be on to Jerry Hancock.
Thank you.
You see where I am?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I do, right here.
Yes. So today, 4/2/25, while working as the SRO at Independence High School, At 10:55 Independence Parkway, Collin County, a weapons call was dispatched over the air that detailed a stabbing occurred at Kuykendall Stadium in Frisco, Texas. After hearing more dispatched call information, I drove to the scene. While en route, I heard Officer Cortez say he had as the suspect in custody. Typo. When I got on scene, I looked for Officer Cortez and went straight to him to hold security with the suspect that he had cuffed and secured in the police squad.
Crazy.
Multiple witnesses were providing statements to officers where the stabbing occurred at the Memorial High School track tent. Only a short time later, Officer Cortez and myself escorted the suspect, Karmelo Anthony, to the Frisco Adult Holding Facility. Anthony was transitioned off to the jail staff without incident. All jail paperwork was completed and CID took the investigation from there. End.
Yes, we do it with the lights
funny.
on. I'm laughing because Ashton says yes, visual. Do it with the lights on.
Oh my life.
You went there, Ashton. You went there. All right.
Yeah.
We don't care.
Gaba says mirrors on the ceiling. So
Yeah. Hey, I'm a Leo. I'm about mirrors on the ceiling, the wall, the ground, the floor, the car, anywhere, guys. Yes, Ashton, you did that.
Shoot. Okay, enough. Oh my
All right,
gosh.
let's keep going. We just, you got to just break it up a little, let people
Yeah, I
laugh because
know.
it's not
Believe
so
me, I know
serious.
what kind of a clown crew I'm on. Shoot.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey,
Now
you're
we're on-
part of that. You're part of that. I
I'm
know.
I'll try to be serious today.
Hey, the
Oh.
shoes you're wearing, I know you got some clown shoes on right now. Come on.
Girl, you
All
do.
right.
You should see. I have to wear my compression stupid tights, so they do look like a clown. If
I
I lifted my leg up, I should
Oh.
just to crack everybody up, but it might be used against me in a court of law. So who knows what they'll say? The weirdo wears weird compression tights. Who knows what's going on? All right.
Hey, we're
All right.
all love. We're all love. All
We're
right.
all right. I'm going to be doing Alvin Fisher now. Alvin Fisher. All right. Same thing. I, Officer A. Fisher, 3696, was dispatched to 6927 Stadium Lane, number A. They must have it must be because there's been 3 different addresses, and I'm thinking this is a big space, and each street is a different name. How they get into it,
like the
because they're all
headquarters?
going the same place, but it's all kind of different little addresses. So that don't be thrown off by that. All right. So in regards to a stabbing, the notes stated an athlete had been stabbed in the chest and was unconscious and not breathing. When I arrived, the crime scene was already marked off and a suspect was in custody. I began asking people if they were witnesses to anything. I made contact with Hunter Blank and then blankety blank, a black male. EP, we'll find out who he is later. They were both breathing heavily and crying due to the nature of events. They were with coaches on the field and it was pouring down rain. We made the decision to relocate to a locker room just to the east to get out of the rain. Once in there, things calmed a little bit. However, they were still hysterical and could not really talk. In there, I learned Hunter was the brother of the victim.
And a twin, right?
The twin who held his brother in his arms as he was passing.
And this whole thing is a tragedy, guys, for
is a
both
tragedy.
families. I'm just saddened that the Anthony family went this route. All right, let's keep going.
I attempted to ask them both what had happened. I could not really get anything out of Hunter, but he stated he wanted to speak. I asked him what happened, and he stated they were all sitting on the bleachers under Memorial HS tent when another male, who he did not know, walked over and sat under the tent. Blank then said Austin, the victim, told this male that since he did not go to Memorial, he had to leave the tent. Austin and the male went back and forth, and then Austin stood up and pushed the male to get him out of the tent. Blank had said during this time of arguing, the male was reaching around in his bag he had, and it was at this time the male took out a knife and stabbed Austin and then left the scene. This was all Blank remembered when he talked to me. After this, I then stood by with 3 athlete witnesses until CID arrived and interviewed them. I was then relieved by an SRO and went back to patrol nothing further.
All right. And thank you. Good idea to have you read and me manage the chat, because I don't think this would go so well without me trying to see what's going on.
It's
All
too
right.
nuts.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. All right.
Now-
And happy birthday, Lori, by the way. Happy birthday, Lori
Happy
Minor. Shout out to you.
birthday.
Yes.
Okay, so now we're on to Mike Crawford's officer. You see him?
I do. We're almost there,
right.
guys. Yes.
Okay, so
all right.
Same thing. I, Lieutenant M. Crawford, 3095, was dispatched to the Kuykendall Stadium in reference to a stabbing call. I arrived on scene and observed medical personnel and several bystanders standing next to a subject later identified as the victim, Austin M. blank blank. The medical personnel were actively engaged in life-saving measures with Mr. M. I observed that a crime scene was created around the area and began collecting the names and contact information of the bystanders within the scene. I then met with Officer Witchell and directed him to begin a crime scene log. As he was getting the needed paperwork, I took over his responsibilities of monitoring a witness, J. Blank, to the event. Ultimately, the witness was taken to another area out of the rain, and Officer Schultz had taken over the crime scene log. I forwarded information about the bystanders to him. From this point forward, I worked with coordinating response from SRO, CID, CSI, and PIO. I took no other action at the scene. My body-worn cameras did not activate when I initially arrived on scene, but I did activate it when I discovered it wasn't recording while waiting with the witness. Nothing further.
All right. Link to membership. I was going to ask one of the mods to drop a link to membership so she can renew it. And yes, happy birthday to Lori. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right.
All right. Now we are on Officer Jacob Schultz, top of page 5.
All right. Top of page 5. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Sid. We all love your voice. Me especially. Thank you. That's why I always have you on here. It's not that I have favorites, guys. It's just that Synth is my favorite. Oh, wait. I didn't say that. Okay. Just kidding.
I'm just kidding. Shakespearean quotations. I was Queen Elizabeth for 2 years. You know, I had to learn how to orate.
And she's gonna
the ghetto girl played Queen Elizabeth for 2 years, people. Yes,
and she's gonna come with. You're gonna come with me to the trial in
I told
Florida.
my brother, I hate to tell. I said, I'm sorry, I have to miss your birthday, bro, because I'm probably gonna be in Florida. So unless you're coming with me for your birthday,
which it's gonna change. You know that's gonna change.
I know.
Yeah.
But when we go, we'll go. So
exactly. When we go, we'll go.
She's gonna get us the plane tickets because she knows how to get good deals, man.
And I've had offers for places to stay, like putting up in hotels. So we'll find that out too.
I have to get a real ID. Do you have a real ID already?
I do.
Okay, so I have to get that whole shenanigans. So let's hope that works out great for me. Fingers crossed.
Yes, fingers crossed and prayers. And no, there was no beef before the stabbings that we know of. We're not reading.
No, they didn't know each other.
Yeah.
They know. It says they did not know. He did not know who this person was. All right, so now we're on Schultz, which is Jacob. Officer Schultz was working as the SRO at the Student Opportunity Center. At approximately 10:01 hours, I was dispatched to a stabbing that occurred at David Kuykendall Stadium, located at It should be noted that my location is approximately 200 yards from the stadium. Upon my arrival, I tried to get an updated location of the suspect. I could not see Officer Cortez when I arrived. Officer Cortez informed me over the radio that he had the suspect in custody. At this time, I turned my attention to the victim. Multiple FISD trainers were already performing CPR. I could see blood on and around the victim. At this time, medics arrived and began life-saving measures. I coordinated with other officers on scene to secure the location. By this time, the students and FISD staff had cleared the area. I used crime scene tape and began to tape off the area. It began to rain harder at this time. Sergeant Otis and myself moved a Memorial High School tent over the medics and victim to attempt to preserve an evidence that we could. A Memorial coach approached me and informed me that he was with a student who claimed to see the entire altercation. I told the coach to stick with the student and that we would need to get him to the police station to give a statement. The student quickly informed me that he knew where the suspect threw the knife and pointed me to its location. I located the knife with Sergeant Otis and could see blood on the knife. I quickly used my city-issued phone to take pictures before the rain could wash the blood away. Sergeant Otis located a blue tarp, and we decided that we should cover the knife without touching it in an attempt to preserve any evidence. It was windy and raining hard.
Hold on. Wait, pause for 1 second. I see people in chat getting heated. Please don't get heated. Wyatt, be good. If you are being good, I don't know where that's coming from, but come on, guys. Let's just try to be, come on, back to it. Happy birthday, Barb. Come on. We all have opinions that don't matter. That matter, and someone else's doesn't matter. It's very this is a very sensitive topic. So
And
please,
we have to
guys,
remember why it is a minor. We are not allowed to attack minors.
and I appreciate Emily because Emily's coming from a different side of things, and she's telling us things that she might have heard from either local or I see her saying something like, oh, they invited him into the tent. We don't know about any of that side. So we don't want to do that whole like the other day, Save a Fox, where people got mad and left. Please, guys, please. All right.
Don't be
All
naughty
right.
when I'm doing other work and I can't watch the chat, please.
Yeah, I'll leave the lights on and spank you with the lights on.
I have it. Mira, tienes mi chancla aquí. And I'm
Oh,
not
yeah.
afraid to pop out. So
That's what
let's
my
just
mom does. My mom
shoot.
says, "I'll hit you with that
Chancla.
chancla. You better do
That's
it, girl."
right on the
All
butt.
right.
Okay.
All right.
Now,
All right, let's keep
they
going.
located the blue tarp. They're trying to preserve that. Let me find my thingy.
We decided we should cover the knife. Okay.
Okay,
Sorry.
yes, it was windy and hard. Once we positioned the tarp over the knife, I reached down and grabbed a backpack left in the stands to weigh the tarp down and threw it up by where Sergeant Otis was positioning the tarp. It was later discovered that the backpack I threw up onto the tarp was the suspect's backpack. Did you get what I just said?
I did the suspect's backpack on top of the tarp.
He found it. Found a backpack. To just happen to, he just saw it and said, "Hey," to toss it onto the tarp, not understanding until later that was Karmelo's backpack.
Okay, I thought it was right there initially, and see that's
So
why
he's like, "Hey, and wait, oops." So
Right.
I think the concern might be they might have tampered when they picked it up and moved it because he didn't register that could be
Right.
the suspect's thingy backpack.
And now I can't wait for the trial, baby. All right.
Yeah, because you don't know if that like ruins evidence of evidentiary
Right.
anything.
And we
on
don't
that.
know. We don't know what witnesses are going to be there. Beautiful you, Jay. I'm leaving chat tonight. I don't do well with people acting this way. Thank you, beautiful you, for coming. I'm sorry.
We'll see you later.
We don't
Be well.
normally, but yes, thank you. There's only so much I can do. All right. Let's keep going.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was the only Centennial High School backpack located with all of the Memorial High School backpacks in that area in the stands. See? After securing the scene with crime scene tape and attempting to preserve as much evidence as possible, I assisted other officers with locating other possible witnesses. Officer Witchell was maintaining scene security while I was assisting the other officers. After the medics transported the victim, I relieved him of that post so he could go back to patrol. I maintained scene security until the call was cleared. Photos will be uploaded to the crime scene folder and my body cam will be downloaded at the end of the shift. No further information at this time. Pause.
All right. And we're on what? We're almost there.
Now we're going to get to Kyle Pemberton.
Kyle Pemberton. Okay. Yeah. We're just reading. We're not even making assumptions right now. We're literally just reading the arrest report. Anybody that wants to make assumptions, do it. I can't ever say, "Oh, this is a safe place." I do my best to make it a safe place, but I can't control everyone. So I love you guys. Thank you for being here. Yeah, we're literally just reading right now. Clark, good to see you, my love. I haven't seen you in a while, and you're welcome, Barb C. All right, we're gonna keep reading. Get to the facts.
Okay. So now we are on Kyle Pemberton, which is in the middle of page 5.
Pemberton. All right.
All right. Here he is. Lieutenant K. Pemberton, 3411, responded to 6927 in response to a reported stabbing. This location is a school stadium. Call notes advised the male had been stabbed and was unconscious. Upon arrival, several officers and medical personnel were attending to the victim who was laying on the ground on the stadium bleachers. I coordinated the Frisco PD response and trying to establish a crime scene. The knife reported to have been used in the assault was located by another officer in the bleachers. Shortly after my arrival, a large downpour of rain began. I directed several officers to use a tarp found at the scene to cover the location of the knife. I remained on scene until the victim was transported and this crime scene was established, NFI,
All right,
which I think is no further information.
To Justin, and I gotta say, guys, there would be nothing wrong with anything that happened had this family raised money to get him a lawyer and not to start calling the victim and the victim's family racist and KKK members and all this, which caused a whole bunch of stuff. All right. I am Two Bear. Good to see you. Big numbers. Come on, Chaos. Hi, Jay. Love you. All right. Let's keep going. I don't want to take up everybody's
now we
time.
are Justin Newton. I responded to Texas Health Plano to assist with this case. I was tasked with meeting the ambulance at the hospital. I arrived prior to the ambulance and waited for them to arrive. They arrived at 10:46 hours with the victim, Austin, who was brought into the trauma bay for treatment. So this is 46 minutes after it occurred.
Okay.
At 10:53, so 53 minutes later, Dr. Chow pronounced Austin deceased.
There you guys
Once he
go.
was pronounced, staff stopped treatment and disconnected cords and tubes from the machines without removing anything from the body itself. While on scene, I took possession of clothing worn by Austin and maintained possession of the items until CSI Dillard took them from me. While on scene, Officer Landon requested assistance in lifting the sheets off the body to take photos.
That's so
I then
rough.
placed the sheets back when complete. I then stood by in the room for security while Officer Landon, Officer Hernandez, CSI Dillard took additional photos. At one point, they rolled the body and removed shorts from Austin, which were bagged and stayed in my custody until CSI took them. At 13:24 hours, so that's 1:24 p.m. now, family was allowed into the scene to view the body. I was
Damn,
informed
man.
by staff and officers that they would be allowed to touch the head and feet of Austin, which
Oh,
they
God.
did.
So hard.
To say
Sorry.
goodbye. So at 13:37 hours, which be 1:37, nurses from the hospital bagged Austin in a body bag.
Damn, man. Oh, that's triggering me. Okay, sorry, go.
All right, it's all right. Breathe through it. At 15:15 hours, which would be 3:15, the transport service for the medical examiner arrived and took possession of the body. Tag number 1, I think it's a 0, might be a Q, 16978 was placed on the bag and secured. I took notes during this time, which were scanned to the report and booked as evidence. I turned in the crime scene log to be scanned to the report. At the conclusion of the call, I took my camera off of covert mode and went to turn it off. At this point, I learned the camera had failed to activate. Due to it being on covert mode, I did not see the indicator lights on the top of the camera. So that's a second camera we do not have that functioned.
Yeah, I hope they have. I really do hope they have good cameras in the bleacher area because they have showed a view from above, but we'll see.
Right.
All right.
Well, and there were other officers, so maybe I don't think they show you the stuff inside the hospital. I don't know how that works.
So this says, wait, okay, flash in the pan, Pager. In the hood, that ninja Karmelo would be dead by sundown. Absolutely, and that's where we are right now. That's why the family is running and hiding, but they're also starting shit. Okay.
Yes. So we're on 6 of 7, Officer Andrew Higgins. Officer Higgins was working as the desk officer at 7200 Stony Brook Parkway at approximately 10:42, so 42 minutes after all this is going on. White male walked into the main lobby stating that he had witnessed the stabbing and was told to come to the lobby to complete a witness statement. Yes. I gave H a voluntary witness statement, which he worked on until detectives arrived to speak with him. H left with detectives and I returned to my normal duties. Nothing further at this time.
Almost
Next,
there.
we're on to Thomas Craig. All right. Him, blah, blah, blah. He's a SRO.
He's lucky there's a trial.
Right. I immediately responded to this scene. Upon arrival, I first made contact with Officer Cortez, who was standing next to a marked police vehicle. Officer Cortez advised he had detained the suspect and he was in the patrol vehicle. I then responded to the victim's scene that was in the north bleachers. As I walked up, I noticed Frisco Fire Department personnel and was attempting to provide life-saving measures to a subject later identified as Memorial High School Austin M. As other officers worked the scene, I was asked respond to the stadium's medical locker room area and keep the following Memorial High School students / witnesses separated until detectives could speak with them. So then you have the J, the EP, the M.
Right.
While with them, I was told to take their cell phones from them and later turn them over to Sergeant Bissonnette. After being relieved, I was asked to make contact with all FISD athletes that had been placed on school buses. Below is a list of students who identified themselves as witnesses to the stabbing of Austin Metcalf. All right, we have Bus Lebanon Trial High School girls track. So you have 2 traumatized children there. Bus Blank Liberty High School boys track. You got those ones. They're all traumatized. Bus Blank Liberty High School girls track, traumatized. Memorial High School boys track, traumatized. Frisco High School boys track, they're traumatized. Independent High School boys and girls, traumatized. Emerson High School girls track, traumatized. Also, the coaches who they've listed are traumatized. McCall Gonzalez, Centennial High School coach, heard suspect confessed to stabbing victim. Vincent Hooper, Heritage High School coach, heard suspect confessed to stabbing victim. Lakeisha Collin, Independence High School coach, witnessed the incident. Mindy Yeatman, Independence High School coach, witnessed the incident. After completing this task, I cleared the scene. No FI. T. Craig, 3517.
Yes. Why did he bring a knife to school? And why did the stay-at-home mom not know what was happening? That's what I want to know. But again, Emma McClure's right. This is not about races here. They made it about races by starting that campaign. This is about a teenager that killed another teenager, and everybody's going to be traumatized.
Had no self-control.
Yes, now we have to go to trial with this, and look at all these children that saw him dead. Just you talking about him being in a body bag made me feel sick to my stomach. I mean, I have my son just walked in here a minute ago,
touching the head and the feet to say goodbye.
Man.
Yeah, because they probably couldn't touch anything else for fear of contamination on his body. So they only allowed that touching of the head and the feet to keep it as
I mean,
preserved.
the whole thing is just traumatized. I mean,
and now all these children have counseling and trauma. There's where money goes to, people. All right, now we have Alejandro Aviles. Sergeant Aviles responded to a stabbing call at 16927 Stadium Lane. Upon arrival, I provided scene security and assisted with keeping civilians away from the crime scene. I maintained this position until I was relieved by CID detectives and cleared the scene. Nothing further. Next, last guy, Joshua Miller. At approximately 1000 hours, I, Sergeant J. Miller, 3542, was dispatched to a stabbing call located at the stadium. Kuykendall Stadium call notes stated that one student was stabbed in the chest by another student. Upon my arrival at the location, my only duty was to provide scene security. As the Frisco medic was leaving the location, I assisted in moving people out of the way for the medic to be able to drive through. Shortly after I cleared the scene, nothing further. Sergeant J. Miller, 3542. End. We are done. Stephanie.
And there shouldn't be any blatant racism, Emily. I can't see all the comments. They're getting deleted. I really do hope that there's not a bunch of racism. I see everybody in chat just talking. So I hope we don't have racism in here, because that's not what we do. The media made it. Yes, thank you. You're right. Flesh in the pan painter. The media made it. Race media loves the narrative, but the handler, the guy that pretends to be a lawyer, the family spokesman, he started calling the family of the Metcalfs white supremacists. He kicked them out of the news conference and said they shouldn't be near him. That was not okay. And that's what happened with this. That's why people are mad. So as far as everybody else, I don't understand why people are mad. We're just reading what's on the paper. I mean, I don't know. But a lot of things got deleted. So thank you for deleting them. All right.
Do we have to go back and put people in corners?
Right. Okay. So we got through this. Thank God. I'll just pull that down so we can say our final thoughts. And we've been here for 2 hours, and I know people have things to do. All right. Yeah, we don't.
They're hangry and they need Snickers.
Yes. I was eating Snickers yesterday too. I was like, right before I went to the dentist, they're like, "What did you eat?" I'm like, "A Snickers." All right.
All right. Was it Lou Bagoda and Betty White, right? When they got angry, it got ugly.
Yeah, otherwise I turn into a monster. Yeah. All right. So I thank you for reading that, Cynthia. I really wanted to put out the information that was on paper without any kind of bias or any of that. Yes, at the beginning, I've spoke my piece, but I just want you to know what you're going to see in court if it makes it that far, guys. So Thank you guys so much. This week we have much more to get into. I do think I have to speak a little bit on, and I haven't talked to the mods at all, but Synth and Tiff and Carly's not here right now. Foxy, we're gonna I do need to address some things so I can stop it in my head with the Grime Watch and that damn Ben thing. I think we're just gonna do an episode on that, clear it up, and see what happens. I should have covered it a long time ago. I had no kind of anything with Ben Thulis, and the whole thing spun out of control. And it seems if I make a video about a pedophile and present it to you guys, that things will stop happening. I'll tell you later in the week, but I just wanted to give my mods a head up, and you guys, I think we might be doing that on Friday. So buckle up, guys. It might get heated. I think the rest of this week is going to be kind of controversial.
You're going to do it on the 4th of July?
Oh, through that, I'm not even working on the 4th of July. Maybe I meant Thursday.
Right.
No, hell no. Hell no.
Not your stash. Watch out. She's
No, not Friday. And we love you all too, you guys. No, tomorrow we're gonna, and I love all the new people here. Flash in the Pan Pay Dirt, thank you so much. Synth is awesome. We have a good team here. No, we're not working on 4th of July or whatever you want to call this.
That was
tomorrow,
funny.
I think we're gonna do Jack and Lily tomorrow. There's some significant updates in the case.
Yeah, so Thursday we could do.
Yeah, Thursday I need to talk to you guys. We just need to get the damn video out.
Yeah,
get some information.
Thursday works for me, so you just let me know.
Yeah, the piece of trash troll that came into the communities.
Are we coming on like this, where we get to be like, even if they don't want to be seen, they can do the picture or whatever, or how are we going to do it?
Well, you have it. I don't think they have anything to. I mean, you were with me. Were you not? Were you with? Okay, so yeah, we got blasted
I'm
for that.
involved with you. I'm linked in it.
Well, yeah, we got blasted for that shit, and they're still making
from a 0.008 to 1 hour and 2 minute shenanigans of
right. And there's a new video. Well, a new video that came out says they'll leave me alone instead of the last 8 months continue bullying as long as I do a video about Ben Thulis and tell how he got into the community. So I have no problem just getting out, but we'll see what happens if people are good for their word. I know I'm good for mine. So racism, thank you, 111. Racism is to keep us divided, just like the blue and red politics. It's all about separation. I also say their biggest nightmare is coming together and telling people to get over it. Thank you. I appreciate that. That was a great comment.
My first thought when I saw blue and red politics was the blood and the Crips.
Hey man, I don't even know.
In LA, I'm sorry, people. It's fine. I'm better.
So did I. So did I.
It's funny. That was like my brain went there. I didn't even think of the other blue and red. I was just like, the Crips and the blood. Is that horse crip walking again?
Someone else would have the kids. Woo. Yeah. I grew up down there too, and it's a Bloods and the Crips, but we don't.
Yeah, that was some funny stuff. I just thought that was funny. My brain went right there. I was like, Cynthia.
No, we're talking chonklas and fly swatters, baby. Yeah, we're not talking about that.
Love. Please apologize to your other fellow member people, humans, if you said things in haste, because it's very hard to read people's intentions. I know I come across. I mean, I already come across as a chaunchy bitch because I am, and I've already given full disclosure: 10 car accidents, TBI, yada 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 yada. As my daughter says, I'm a miracle that I'm still alive. I think it's a miracle that I was able to raise 2 children to be honors students and smart and good and kind and not doing shenanigans.
And you're still raising your husband too, so I got to give you props for that.
He knows it too.
Who wastes money on fireworks? If you can't afford fireworks, then economy ain't bad. I love that.
Shoot.
Hey, I stopped doing fireworks because now in San Jose, somebody could take a picture of you thinking you're lighting a firework and you get $1,000 fine in the mail.
Wow.
All right. That's like legit bad. Like all of a sudden,
they stopped doing the fireworks because they didn't get any money. They lost the funding, the grants. Yes. So we didn't. They tried to do a drone thing last year, and that didn't.
Well, I'm talking here. I'm in San Jose and the war zone.
No,
I mean,
usually, Portland has a huge one, but that's like an hour down south for me.
They're
so
in the
our little
streets.
town, we have like a little lake and we do it there, but we couldn't. I don't know. I know maybe they're doing it this year. I haven't read.
Girl, they're in my front yard doing Disneyland fireworks. I'm telling you, it's straight Disney. I'm not even. I shit you not. But if someone sends me a picture of me doing this, I'll get a fine. So I'm like,
does that, but he lives in BFA, so like they're like, who cares, man? You know, you better
no,
have
man.
your fire hoses
I'm
out there
out
in
there.
your own
I'm
well.
like, oh shit! Whoa! I hope my house
No,
is
just
on
be
fire.
safe, everybody.
Fuck
I'll tell
yeah.
you the funniest thing with the firework was the year we had Y2K, and you know everything was supposed to go nuts because of the computers on Y2K.
The world was ending,
right? And I was at the beach, Lincoln City or Seaside in Oregon. But what was funny is I'd gotten a Roman candle and I'd never used one before, and I pointed it at the cars. And they started shooting under the cars, and they're like, "You're gonna blow up the cars, you crazy woman!" And I was like, "Sorry, I don't have no fireworks in the ghetto. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. This is white people stuff. We ain't got no money for this."
Well, that's why. Yeah, exactly what the. Lincoln City, flash in the pan painter. If we have enough money to be blowing up $300 cakes, I mean, $300 is nothing. They're like $500 to get a Disneyland one for 90 seconds. So anyway, you guys, we're going to be back tomorrow, same time, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern. And I think I'm going to update you on the Jack and Lily case because there's so much and we still need to find those children. Now, Synth is in Tacoma. You're in Tacoma, right?
I'm in Kelso.
Okay,
it's 3 hours south of Tacoma. I had to drive to Tacoma for 3 times a day when
Cali's a shithole
hit for law school. But yeah,
I'm born and raised Cali, and I ain't going anywhere because I can't.
I was born in Glendale, California, and my last place I worked was my dream in the Glendale Galleria. That was my dream as a Valley girl, was to work at the Galleria Mall. That was my dream. That's the song we got married to, is "Melt with You" by Modern English. Kevy and I. So
I've been to that mall a bunch of times, and that area.
And met some actors because the actors agency is in that building that's next door that has that walk plank. You know, there's that one that goes through the next building.
Yeah.
So I met Forrest Whitaker. I met
I
can't remember his name right now, but the guy he played on Ally McBeal, and he played in the Ghostbusters too. He was in Dragon Slayer. If anybody remembers that movie, good Lord, that's a flashback. But so lots of nice people, and it was a fun place to, you know.
I mean, all actors are down that way. They do all the conventions and stuff down there because it's cheaper, and you get in the hotels.
A lot of shoes to the movie studios because it's right there by Burbank.
Yeah, well, so Burbank's always the horror conventions. When we go to the horror convention, that's like everybody's there. It's just cheaper.
My mom is in Forest Lawn. So
happy birthday,
I don't ever
Lori.
get to go to LA, but if I go to LA, I will go visit her site in Forest Lawn.
I just go to see the horror characters. But all right, guys, I love you guys. I know you guys got things to do. Thank you so much, Synth, for always helping out. I like your voice better than mine after hours of reading. So you guys, I'll see you tomorrow.
It's better this way because you can tell me when to pause and I can just read it, and then it's really hard to read and focus, and if there's strife, then you're trying to deal with that, and I wanted you to be able to concentrate on what you do.
You're my homie, and I appreciate it. Homie, mod, everything. All right, guys.
Let's go.
He said my side chick was from Alhambra. I love this person. My side
been
chick.
To that library. I will go find the library card so you can believe me. I tell you what.
Right. Love you guys. I'm gonna throw the peace sign, and we
be good.
Guilty of crime.
I want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed my content, please share this video, like, and subscribe. You can also follow me over at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, or Gmail. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can use Cash App or Venmo or PayPal. Thank you very much in advance. Guilty of crime.
Are you guilty of crime?